So about 13 or 14 years ago, I'd say it's about that, back when I was 20 years old, I'm 34 now, I was at a hand car wash once, right, and there was a fella there with a Ferrari F4 30, and I went up to him and said, mate, that's a lovely car you got there. And he said, thanks. And he said to me, do you know what the best thing is about this car? He says, wanting it. I remember at the time thinking, what is he going on about? The guy's got a Ferrari, he should be over the bloody moon. But the funny thing is, when you want something, it drives you to go ahead and get it. It makes you get out of bed every day, work hard and keep on it and keep moving forward until the point where you get it. And then when you get it, I'm not saying you don't appreciate it, it's not about that at all, but you sort of start to think, well, what do I want next? Now this car in front of me here is, at that point in my life, this was my boss's car. It's not a Ferrari, guys, it's not quite a Ferrari anyway, nothing like a Ferrari, but it's an interesting car, and I used to go to work every day and I used to see this. My boss used to pull up and I used to think, God, I would love to have that car. At the time I couldn't afford it, it was an expensive car at the time. Recently, a couple of days ago, he messaged me and said, Calvin, it's your old boss from all them years ago, and I'm selling I won't tell you what it is yet. Do you want to buy it? I was like, definitely. I bought it because I want it, really. I bought it as a bit of stock, but I bought it as well because I thought it'd be a good story to tell, make a good video, and it's been sat for a couple of years. It's in a bit of a state. What we'll do is we'll get on with the intro and I'll continue telling you lot my story about this car. So around this time in my life, basically me and my brother Leon, we had a hand car wash, right? Just a typical hand car wash. People used to pull up to get their car cleaned. We charged a £5 for an inside and a £5 for an outside, right? Tenner inside and out. And then one day a guy come down to get his car cleaned, and I was cleaning his car, and I got chatting to him. And he said, how comes you clean cars? How did this come about? And I just said, well, me and my brother was an estate agent. I was in the building trade. We was in a recession and there was no work for either one of us, so we set up a hand car wash, right? And he said, well, me and my family, we've got a locksmith business. Would you ever consider getting into locksmithing? You could do it as like a little sideline. I was like, yeah, definitely. That sounds like something I'd be interested in doing. I could kind of do it off the back of the knowledge that I had from working on building sites, I suppose. I still had all my tools. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I'd done a course and started doing locksmithing as a bit of a sideline to the hand car wash. And eventually, obviously, ventured into or transitioned into full-time car trading, right? That guy at the car wash, this car here was his dad's car, right? That's why I tell that story. And every day you see this bloody car and I just think, wow, this car's an 04 plate car, so back then it would have been about 5 or 6 years old. The value of it was probably about £10,000, I would say. We will go through HPIs and stuff and all that sort of stuff in a sec. But what I want to do at this point is I think I need to show you the car, right? You're not going to think, Cal, this ain't actually that special, but to me it was special at the time, and that's what this whole video is about. So we're going to do a little countdown and then we're going to reveal the car, all right? You ready for this? 3, 2, 1. 2004 pre-facelift Audi A4 convertible, right? Now I was so into these cars at the time because I always thought they were quite modern. They were an attractive thing at the time, like the shape of the door handles. I know I point out silly stuff like that all the time. The interior was actually quite a nice place to be. It was a lovely interior. This car had that awful Multitronic gearbox, which we're going to find out shortly if it's actually all right. Obviously, this car in particular has been sat around. It's barely been used for the last few years. I think it's done about 100,000 miles now. Let's have a look. Yeah, 99,000 miles. My boss actually bought this car brand new. He bought this car new, guys, and he daily drove it for its whole life, and it got to the point where he's not using it anymore. So he has actually done a little bit of driving. If you look at the MOT history, he drove it a little bit over the last couple of years, but not much at all. But you can see we will be giving it a clean shortly, all right? I just didn't want to clean it. I wanted to get it on camera in its current state, and then after we've cleaned it, we will go for a little drive in it. Now, the colour is probably not my preferred colour. I think, like I said earlier, it's just because it was in front of me every day. I used to look at it and think, wow, what a cool car, man. And it was a 2.5 diesel. It's got full leather interior, and them wheels, them 18-inch wheel options, for me, I just thought they were so bloody cool, man. So, and I think the point of this video, like I keep saying, is these things are so meaningful. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to a story like this, because without these goals, without these things that you sort of aspire to want or be, you kind of got no purpose in life. And there's no point in getting out of bed sometimes unless you've got some kind of a goal. So for me, not to say like I finally got the car of my dreams at that point in my life anyway, and it's now just it's not an old banger, that's a bit harsh. It ain't the dream car that it was back then, but it is meaningful and it is important. So what we'll do is we'll get it clean, because that is important, and once it's cleaned, we'll hit the road in it, go through HPI, and we'll talk more about this car, all right? Look at that, that's a lot better, isn't it? It was so satisfying jet washing all that horrible stuff off the roof. The roof's a little bit wet there at the minute, but there's no leaks, it's all doing as it should, I think. Let's just double check that nothing's leaked in. Yeah, all looks good in there to me, nice and dry, nothing at the back. All good, man, yeah, nice car. The wheels are scrubbed up nice as well. You can see a bit of they sort of pickle a bit, don't they? The lacquer comes off of them and they start looking a bit rough over time, but they don't look too bad, to be fair. What else do we want to talk about? That tyre there, before I go out, I think I need to put a bit of air in that. I think the last 5 years it's done about 5,000 miles, so not many miles at all. That rear quarter there looks like it's had a bit of paint, but it's an old car. Can't expect perfection, can we? It's got rear parking sensors, front parking sensors. We'll talk about spec in a sec, and something we will also do, because it's a 2.5 litre V6 engine. Let's quickly admire the engine bay on this car. Pop that, lovely jubbly. Looking forward to driving this thing, actually. Seeing what that gearbox is like. That's the thing I'm kind of most concerned about, if I'm honest. Yeah, V6 TDI engine, 2.5 litre V6, 163 brake horsepower. I've got a feeling this is not going to be a very quick car at all. I think 0 to 60 is about 10 seconds on these. So we've got double figures on a 0 to 60. So we will do Draggy times. I've got a feeling it's going to be probably the slowest car on the Draggy leaderboard. I think the slowest car currently is a 1.9 PD TDI VW Passat. So surely this is going to be quicker than the Passat, but we will find out, right? All depending on how well that Multitronic gearbox holds up, yeah? So let's jump in now, quickly go through HPI, and then we'll go out for a little drive in it, yeah? Before that, one thing I've not yet pointed out, whilst we've got the bonnet open and these lights sticking out like a sore thumb, that is something that I'm gutted that it's got. It's got them horrible aftermarket headlights. Yeah, I just thought I needed to point them out before we go for a drive. Let's jump in it now. Oh, that's it, a bit warmer in here. We've got heated seats as well, guys, which is absolutely brilliant. Start the engine. Oh my God. It's got almost a full tank of fuel. Can you believe that? That's brilliant. I might have to run around this for the next few days instead of the M5, because that thing's bloody terrible on fuel. Yeah, let's just start it up. Sounds like a diesel, I suppose. It's like a diesel. One thing I've not yet checked is the roof. We need to check that this roof is alright. Let's see how we get on. Guys, this is the slowest roof in the world. Come on. That's it. Yeah, it's doing all as it should. It's alright for an 18-year-old car, isn't it? And that's it. Is that it? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Convertible with a broken roof. This is hashtag the car trade in a nutshell, guys. Let's see what's going on, yeah? Oh my God, there is mould everywhere. The valeters have missed all the mould. There is mould everywhere in this car. Yeah, I think I need to have a word with the valeters about this. I said to them, give it a quick clean for a video, but I didn't mean like that quick. Let me just put the roof back up, because that's the current challenge that we've got. Roof up. Punters there. Maybe it's my bag in the boot. Yeah, it could be my bag. It can't be the car. Come on, this is a lovely example of an Audi A4 Cabriolet, guys. Let's do this again, yeah? Check the boot, check the boot. it's not my camera bag, guys. I might have cut that bit of the video out. I might just leave it in for the drones, but yeah, the roof definitely needs looking at, and I could do with cleaning this mould off these headrests as well. But it's got heated seats. It's got heated seats, guys. Yeah. I wanted to kind of demonstrate that the roof works and show how wonderful an Audi A4 Cabriolet looks with the roof down. But yeah, we won't be doing that in this video. So yeah, the A4, it's got a full tank of fuel, 99,000 miles. It's barely been driven for the last 5 years. And at this point of the video, we're going to check the HPI. Yeah, let's do that now. Here we go then. Audi A4 TDI Sport Auto. It's a sport as well, by the way, guys. Wonderful. It's a sport, 1-speed auto diesel, one former keeper, although I think one of them was him and one of them was his business. Colour is called yellow, according to HPI. It's definitely not yellow, it's more of a gold. 2.5 litre, blah blah. Go to the next section of the HPI, which is HPI spec check. This car was £26,670 new. It's got a 5-star spec rating, which cost 6,870 quid and consisted of all of the following optional equipment: a multi-tronic transmission, 1,450 quid, so it would have come with a manual box from standard. Pearl Napa leather, really nice leather seats. This one's got the added mould feature. They were, yeah, £1,250. Cross spoke alloy wheels, 8x18 inch, £1,110. I think they're a massive feature in this car. They really do set this car off. Acoustic parking front and rear. Parking sensors front and rear. That would have been a massive thing back then. Sports front seats, 500 quid. I wonder what makes these sports seats over the normal ones. Maybe because they've got more adjustments. I don't know. I suppose they're quite a good looking seat, aren't they? I'll give them that. Metallic paint, £430. Heated front seats, £350. Love that. New Symphony radio in-dash CD changer, 265 quid. So you've got this like doubled in Audi Symphony stereo there. Sports suspension, £250. Oh yeah, that's quite cool, isn't it? Wind deflector, 230 quid. Doesn't look like it exists anymore. That's for when you get the roof down, which we can't. It's cold anyway. We don't need to get a roof down, do we? Electric lumbar support, £200. So the sports seats and the lumbar support are two separate options, and they amount to, what is that, for 700 quid for the pair? That's quite a lot of money, isn't it? But nice. It's got it automatic dip-in rear view mirror, 160 quid. Nice. It looks very modern for its time as well. Heated door mirrors. That's an extra. Really? Okay, it's got them as well, £110. Cool box in glove compartment. Wow, that's like Range Rover stuff. It's actually got a cool box in the glove compartment. That there was £55. What a bargain. What, like, seriously, what a bargain. I think that was well worth the £55. It is mega busy at Binker today, by the way. It's a Monday. It's just crazy busy. Some Calvin's out the front just filming videos on cars for social media. Yeah. Cosmic yellow is the name of the colour of the paint. This is going on for a long time, so there's a lot to talk about here. With a black hood, which you know about, that doesn't currently do much. Space saver wheel, no model description. Okay, £6,870. Done. NMR check, it's all above board. There's no mileage discrepancies recorded. Glasses valuation, I don't even know why I even talk about glasses because I never use it, but we'll go to that anyway. We'll select 100,000 miles. According to that, the retail price of this car is about £2,000. all right, gives you an idea what they're worth. If you look on Auto Trader, they do start at about £2,000. But the annoying thing with this car is it's a pre-facelift car, and they actually facelifted them about a year after this one come out. So the facelift was actually a really nice upgrade. New front end, newer steering, just a lot of things were done on the facelift car. But this car is not just the subject to this video. The subject really for this video is the fact that this car is important to me. So what we'll do is we're going to hit the road. We're going to do draggy times. We've got a lot to talk about still, and just, yeah, see how it drives. All right, let's do it now. Actually, before we go, the gearbox, one of the ways to test that these gearboxes are okay, one of the common faults, is when you put it in reverse. There we go, just selected reverse. Sometimes it will clunk into reverse, and then sometimes when you go to accelerate out of a gear, like now, if we slowly go backwards, it clunks. And this car seems to be quite smooth. Back in drive there, nice and smooth. Let's now hit the road. Oh, it's a front wheel drive. I just assumed it would be a quattro, but it's not. There we go, just downshifted there. It's not fast at all. Little bit of turbo boost, very peaceful, very quiet.
not doing much at all. I don't know why I'm talking quietly, as if that's even going to affect the peacefulness in here. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a quiet car. It's kind of like an old man's car, isn't it? It looks like a bit of an old man's car. I don't really know what I was drawn to with this car. I think I just liked Audi A4s back then. I don't know what it is. I think they were quite modern for their time. They're a good looking thing, aren't they? I remember the Audi A4 of this era, the B7 V8 naturally aspirated engine, sounded like an absolute beast. And them cars had them big, fat, wide arches. I remember seeing one of them for the first time ever in Luton one day, and I was like, just look at that car. It looked like a supercar, but not a supercar. You know what I mean? Sports car. So yeah, I did always like these A4s. This one, I don't know, man. It's like a sensible option. 2.5 litre diesel engine with an automatic gearbox. And do you know what? That gearbox is doing exactly as it should. Surely it would have had some gearbox work at some point in its life. There's no way as this car, look at that, that is shaking. Sorry about that. Let me slow down. That camera's all over the show, isn't it? It's the old rocky road mixed with body roll on this convertible Audi. It's just making the camera do all sorts. But yeah, we're on my favourite bend anyway, and as we accelerate out, no smoke out the back. It's pulling, it's doing as it should, nothing too exciting. But what we are going to do is we're going to quickly end this scene of the video and cut to Draggy time. Let's do that now. Right guys, here it goes. We've got it in sports mode. 3, 2, 1. It's moving. Oh, there's the turbo. No smoke at all. I'm really impressed about that. We're almost at 70 miles an hour. It does 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. I reckon the 20 to 70 is going to be very similar. And 3, 2, 1, done. Yeah, that was an effort, guys. Let's look down at the time. Oh my god, the time is terrible. Guys, we've just done 20 to 70 miles an hour in 12.17 seconds. But I am going to give this car a chance. I'm going to do a couple more runs off camera, because you never know, it might beat the 420i Grand Coupe, which done it in about 9 seconds. Alright, see you in a bit. Well guys, so we've done a couple more runs. I think the first one was 12.17 seconds, which, you know, that was a bit disappointing. But I did go on to do more runs. Should we put in there? Let's go on slower roads, probably less bumpy roads, because the body roll in this car is terrible. Well, it ain't that terrible from a driving point of view, but seemingly it is quite bad because that camera is all over the place. But anyway, Draggy times, 12.17 seconds I think the first run was. And then I went on to do more runs, and I actually done a couple of runs at less than 10 seconds. But that sun glare is a bit annoying. Wonderful if you want to do a bit of sun glare photography, but not when you want to film a video for YouTube. Yeah, them two that I done that was sub 10 seconds, they weren't verified, meaning I was probably on a bit of a hill. So I done a couple more, and I managed to get it to do 20 to 70 miles an hour in 10.39 seconds, which isn't that quick. Yeah, it isn't that quick at all, but it does mean that it isn't the slowest car on the Draggy leaderboard, which is wicked. But there was no hope that it was going to beat the 420i Grand Coupe, because that was like 9.01 seconds or something like that. So yeah, pretty okay. I don't know what to say about that. But I don't know, what is really funny is I had this vision back then that this car was going to be quite a quick car, because it was a V6. You know, the 2-litre diesels in these cars are actually quite quick. 140 horsepower 4-cylinder engine. They're quite sort of punchy and pokey. I quite like the power of them, but I just assumed that this would be quick, and I had this illusion or vision that this might be fast, and it isn't fast. All right, it does feel a bit gutless, but it's all doing as it should. And I think the summary of this video and this car is, I got the call on this car and I said, yeah, we'll just come and pick it up. I picked it up. It is mouldy inside and out. It's got a couple of marks in it, a little bit of rust here and there, nothing horrendous. The wheels are corroding. All 4 of them look like they're corroding a little bit, which is expected for the age of the car. The roof seems to be playing up, and by the way, I think the problem with the roof is the rear screen is like has come unstuck. So I reckon that a bit of glue on that will sort that out, hopefully. But the summary from me, I think, with this car is, I suppose, one, never meet your hero. Is that even worse? A worthy conclusion? I don't think so. But I think what is really, really important in life is that you've got wants, you've got needs, you've got goals, you've got things that you want to aspire to be or aspire to achieve. And for me, this car at that point in my life was an important goal, and it wasn't about just having this particular car. It was about one day owning a nice car. And I got to the point where I was doing locksmithing, I was doing car trading on the side, and then the car trading thing got so busy that I began fading out my locksmith career, and I've done full-time car trading. And off the back of that, I'm buying cars like this all day, every day. I say all day, every day. That's a bit. Well, I am. I'm buying cars like this all the bloody time, and I'm living my own dream off the back of having goals to chase. And I think having goals is so bloody important. Although it ain't performing quite as well as it should, or as well as I hoped it would, it's doing everything else as it should. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up, leave it as that. It's been quite a big video to film, a lot of filming, a lot of effort's gone into filming this video, so do me a favour, please hit that bloody like button. It is well deserved. A lot of effort goes into all of these videos, and I want to continue to punt out as many videos as I possibly can. Keep buying cars, keep you lot entertained. All right, so definitely hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, give me a follow on Instagram if you're on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, bye. Isn't that typical? I decided to come back and test the roof again to see if it is definitely broken, and it seems to be fine now. So the Audi A4 that could have had a dodgy gearbox, that could have had lots of problems with it because it's been sitting all this time, that had a broken roof, doesn't actually have a broken roof anymore either. Since filming this video, the Audi A4 is now sold.